Your eyes, the heart with your eyes. Your eyes, the heart with your eyes. Your eyes, the heart with your eyes. Your eyes, the heart with your eyes.
Imagine me and you, I do. I think about you day and night. It's only right to think about the girl you love and hold her tight. So happy together.
But here's the thing, frickin' fuck banjo and fanfare, no fanfare. This is all good for us if we don't lose our fucking minds like Banjo. Banjo has lost his fucking mind. It's pissing me off.
I can't see me loving nobody but you for all my life.
I think we have our two best guys going, by the way. I think Austin and Jaron going together are the two most equipped. I'm best friends with Jaron.
Nursery 11, which adds to 33, because I'm on the Sonic show.
Imagine me and you, I do. I think about you day and night. It's only
You know, anyone thinking that he is compromised, there's 0% chance he's compromised, right? And 0% chance he's a baller. He's not a baller.
But I also understand that if you lived, let's just say if, and we're just putting an if out there, if we lived on a gigantic ball, which seems insane to me, but let's just say we did. Well, let's say that we had a Home Depot, we placed a Home Depot on that ball, and we know that everywhere in the Home Depot is flat. Just kind of picture a Home Depot, we know it's all level. If we put a level anywhere on that Home Depot floor, it's going to show level. So now let's picture that the entire world is nothing but a Home Depot, right? So it's a ball earth, but it's a Home Depot. Well, everywhere on that Home Depot will be flat. Okay, so there is no place you would not be able to take a spirit level anywhere in the Home Depot, place it down and say, nope, look, now it's showing curve. Yet, I just said that we are on a curved earth, we're on a ball, that's just a gigantic Home Depot.
imagine me and you, I do. I think about you day and night. It's only right.
I was not traveling, right? And so they're like that I was traveling and couldn't make it, so I referred with bullshit. None of that.
So
you want to have a debate, but here's the thing: I can't do it. I'm in Mexico for a couple months, and the internet here sucks.
Imagine how the world could be so very fine, so happy together. I can't see me loving nobody but you for all my life. When you're with me, baby, the skies will be blue for all my life.
All right, my dear friends, hope you guys are doing fine today. Just a quick mic check. Please let me know if you guys can hear me well. Shout out to a couple of friends who are here. My dear friend Yuko. How are you, Yuko? Hope you're doing fine. Kyoto, beautiful weather we're having now in Japan. Good friends here. Sarasota, Florida, in the house. Thanks for being here. Flat Earth Patriot. As you saw me replying to comments to the guy, I have gotten so many messages from non-content channels like that one that I'm really suspicious, especially when David Wise himself was caught here placing comments under a fake account. So I don't really trust those non-content channels, especially when they come defending David Wise and TFE or all that stuff. So lots of good people here from everywhere. Waco, Texas is in the house. Let's see, I got my magnifying lens here. Thanks, Patriot. Loud and clear. Okay, Anaheim, Angels, California is in the house. Louisiana is in the house. So welcome to the show, everyone. I really enjoy playing these NASA bloopers, and I've never seen microphones like I have on my microphone here. It can't go through my head. My hands can't go through the wires, There's no way. Only NASA's technology that the astronauts can morph in and out of the ISS. Objects can go pass through their bodies. Only NASA technology is able to do it. We are not able to achieve that technology. But they lost the technology of going back to the moon somehow. So welcome to the show. We do have an interesting show today. As you probably know, Duffy is begging for money. He has to finish his mockumentary, and he's out of money. He needs to raise up some money to finish his mockumentary. So we're going to be talking about that stuff today. And let's go right ahead. Okay, let me see if I got anything up. No. So let's go right ahead and get started. So first of all, we start with our Bible verse. I always enjoy playing this Bible verse. It's from Matthew 5:16. It says, "For I explain this verse. It's my favorite, Hebrews 1, 1 and 2, King James Version of the Bible. God, who at sundry times and in divers manners spake in time past unto the fathers by the prophets, hath in these last days, meaning when Peter and Paul, when the apostles were alive, last days, spoken unto us by his Son, whom he hath appointed heir of all things. So just a reminder that there is no communication between we, man, mankind, and God above except through Jesus Christ. So no spirit should be trusted, especially those spirits who are claiming that they were going to be building a third temple. If God has not told them, and only through Jesus Christ they can communicate, if there's no communication between the Father and mankind, so all this idea of the third temple is just man-made stories, doesn't come from the Father. So there is a mystery, Paul says in 2 Thessalonians 2:7, for the mystery of iniquity doth already work. That was talking about in his time, the mystery. So I'm always wonder about this mystery, this iniquity. Where does it come from? How does it, sprung out, spread? But one thing we must understand, everything is a spiritual warfare. Everything. Whether you're talking about politics, school curriculum, jobs, health, everything is a spiritual warfare. I'm more and more convinced we are in Satan's little season because after the 1500s, when humanists took over and they started worshiping Satan, everything changed. So I got a few things before we talk about Will Duffy. This is just a screenshot, wasn't a video, anything this lady put out. What did they really put in those COVID jabs? People are starting to act nuttier than squirrel shit lately. I'm starting to think there's a correlation. So the amount of crazy things that's going on, I could go over and over. Now this is back 2020, 2021, how ridiculous this media propaganda, and everything is propaganda too. They use propaganda to spread their lies, just like Rudolph is trying to do, using a movie to spread his lies, the globe lie. But I've been paying attention on the amount of crazy things happening with people. Like I'm thinking about getting together, put a whole bunch of videos together just to show you. Like, for example, I talk about Brazil because I always watch news from Brazil. And this guy just beat his girlfriend's ear off. He just took a bite of his, I don't know, they were at a restaurant and he just beat her ear off, big chunk. What's leading these people doing all those crazy things, There are so many things, I have a list of videos that I have saved, just people acting crazy. So what's in their bloodstream that's making their brains to act crazy like that? It could be, as well. And I have a couple of examples even in my own family, but I'll talk about that next week. All right, so this is gravity pocket working in the Artemis 2. You see the astronaut falling down there. I think some of the cables came loose and he had like a moment of gravity where his body weight came down abruptly. Of course, it is a little bit in a slow motion, but there was Artemis 2. You see there. I think the cables got loose or something, and he fell. He lost this position there. So more of NASA's fakery proving, and those guys, non-content channels, they come over and they start defending NASA. And one of those channels was saying, "Well, why don't you all ever show the Chinese ISS? Why Why do you always show NASA? Well, we do. I actually have several videos here, and I have in my channel. I told him, look it up. This is China's ISS showing the flat Earth. So where's the curvature here? That's a live video. I can even play. So you see the curvature here, but you don't see it here. Where's the curvature? Well, they forgot to use their uh, fisheye lens here, and then they switch it to fisheye lens. And then you see a little bit inside. Same thing, looks like the giant swimming pool, just like NASA's. No difference. And again, all this nonsense of going outside to fix things, same nonsense. Look at the door, you know. So it could be just in a studio, and this is it's probably hanging here. This whole thing is green screen. So yeah, we do show other fakery, showing that they all work together. This is Japanese. This is the famous moon rising by the Japanese probe. There you see how fake it is. I mean, just like the video from Artemis, the moon looks all CGI. Whole thing looks CGI. No eclipse. If the sun is on this side of the ball, the moon, no eclipse there because they were supposed to be filming the dark side of the moon. And doesn't matter daytime. They say it's nighttime. It's always bright, lit, just like if the sun was shining. No continents. Always most of the time they show no continents on their moon. And this we can see how fake this thing is, CGI. I've seen videos of people spending $100 in software and creating this same sort of image, very similar to this. You can see. So yeah, we do show, and there's the Indian one. There are more of Chinese. So I'll put together some more videos for next week. But that's most of the point. I want to talk about this for a minute. So as I found it interesting, Angels of Light debating this Glober. So Globers say that helicopters, Earth does not spin under the helicopter because the helicopter is spinning with the Earth. It's velcroed with the atmosphere. So the Earth does not spin under the helicopter, that the helicopter is spinning with the Earth. The Globers also say that the snipers have to adjust because of the rotation of the Earth. They have to adjust when they are shooting because the Earth is spinning under the bullet. Well, what if the sniper is on a helicopter? How will he adjust for the spinning of the Earth under the helicopter when they're just saying that the Earth is not rotating on the helicopter? And what if he is shooting at another helicopter? How can the Earth be spinning under the bullet if both helicopters are supposed to be spinning with the Earth? So a lot of nonsense coming from the Globe team, the Globe believers, and they want us to believe all those nonsense. All of these are just nonsense. So let's get started with this whole Will Duffy stuff. So pastor begs for $50,000 to prove the globe Earth. Apparently, the $68 million that NASA gets every day is not enough. But if you place that $50,000 in his pocket, then he'll be able to prove the globe. I'm not joking. He just uploaded a video where he begs for $50,000 to finish his mockumentary. he seems to have fired Jonathan Mariande as the movie director, and he's trying to hire a big time Hollywood producer to produce his mockumentary. So he's selling the idea that people who is going to give him money is it sounds like he himself, Duffy, is doing people a favor for allowing them to contribute to give money to him to finish his mockumentary. So I thought that with it asking for $20,000 was the most those Globers or those TFE shields could go. But then Will Duffy raises the bar. He begs for $50,000, you know. And I thought that Austin and his $20,000 was the top, but Pastor Bill Duffy exceeded that amount, and he's now asking for $50,000. And I'm gonna play the video here, right? So that's my conception. I'm not saying that this is what happened, but this is what I think happened. This is my opinion. You know, you guys know. Let's go back to this slide here. Minute. Let's say that you are flipping a car. You know, you buy an old car, you want to flip it, you want to remodel and a paint, to do a paint job, some mechanical job, and sell it, you know, to the public. You buy for $1,000, and you do some work. You spend another $1,000, and then you sell it for $5,000, so you get $3,000 profit. But if you buy the car and you don't do the job, you're just wasting money, especially if you hire people to work for you. Okay, and in this case, for example, Duffy will hire Jaron to do the job. So they need to have this mockumentary out so they can generate money, you know. So that's my idea of what's going on. Okay. So Jaron apparently he's broke because he betrayed Flat Earth. But as long as if the documentary is not out yet, they're not generating money. So please, boss sir, since I flipped and I make no more money, and you promised I'd be getting tons of money with this documentary. So here is Will Duffy. Well, I don't have more money to give you. I'll have to find some suckers who's willing to foot the bill, so I'll be able to pay you out. Because that's what he's doing. He's begging for money. And remember, that's the guy who said, well, when you deceive, you're actually trying very hard to set things up in such a way to ensure or guarantee as much as possible that the truth will not be discovered. So, of course, Rudolph's not going to come out and say, yeah, I'm out of money. No, he's sounding like he's giving an opportunity for people, for suckers, to contribute and be part of this bigger project. So he's really broke, and he's got to make these suckers believe that he's giving them an opportunity of being part of this project. That's what he's going to do. So let me play this video here, and then we will talk about a little bit. Let me just remove this for a minute. So shout out to everyone who is joining now. Thank you for all your comments. Yeah, probably best liars, loud and clear. Sounds good. So hello everyone. Australia's in the house. Iron Horse is in the house. Are you? So many good people here joining. Thank you so much for being here. All of you, welcome to the show. So we're talking about, again, the whole TFE debacle, this joke, right? When all these guys are trying to prove the globe. So let me add this video here. We will watch it and talk about it. This one.
But when you deceive, You're actually trying very hard to set things up in such a way to ensure or guarantee as much as possible that the truth will not be discovered.
So we set up a GoFundMe.
So you heard himself saying, that stuff, that when you deceive, you set things up in such a way to guarantee that the truth will never be found, never be brought up to light. So the same thing he's doing right now. He's doing things like to pretend that no, he complained that he put already 6 figures into this and so far has gone nowhere. So he is acting like he is giving people a chance of helping him, not because he needs the money, it's just because he's being good for the suckers. So let's listen to his nonsense.
So we set up a GoFundMe to get this 50,000 raised. And to be clear, I'm multiple 6 figures into this thing already. This is not me trying to recoup my investment or anything like that.
So that's him saying, you heard, he's already way to 6 figures, has put a lot of money. And just like when you're flipping a house, a car, when you buy, you start a job, but you don't finish, but you got to pay the workers, but it's not ready, So that's what he's doing. He's trying to find suckers who is going to foot the bill for him because he's got no money. If he had money, he wouldn't be begging for more money. The documentary wouldn't be on a shelf for almost 2 years, But he's probably under pressure. Jaden is probably on the phone there saying, "Hey, man, I need to make money because he lost most of his subscribers, his patrons." So let's listen to some more of his nonsense.
And here's the best part. For those who can help us cross the finish line, you have the opportunity to have your name in the credits. We have 3 executive producer spots available. That's the most prestigious credit, in my opinion, and will also get you on IMDb, which is pretty cool.
So for the suckers who give him this $50,000, you have your name on the at the end of the show when everybody is leaving the theater. They are playing, the credits. You see the tiny names. Yeah, you're gonna have your name there, okay? And again, he sounds like he's giving people the opportunity, not that he's begging for money. It's so funny, it's really, it's a calm man. That's, I was just watching a video. A lot of Brazilian pastors, all those, especially Pentecostals, they sound like they are doing a favor. Like there was one who made a member of his church to sign out his house, the title of his house to the pastor. And the whole time the pastor sounded like he was doing the guy a favor. Oh, the rapture is coming, so we will take care of this, So just like Will, he sounds like he's doing people a favor, not that he's wants their money.
Flat Earth Banjo are putting things out like this. So Flat Earth Banjo, congratulations. You just earned yourself a spot in the documentary.
All right, so in the video, he says he is not bothering because of, I'm always calling those shoes out, but he is. The proof is that he said he's going to include me in his documentary, What a waste of time. I mean, I'm a small channel. I do this show once a week. I don't have, I have like a dozen patrons. My channel is not monetized. Never been able to monetize, I don't get anything out of my passion for flat earth, for the truth. But if he wants to give me this spotlight, I mean, he's only going to bring more people to my channel. And my reply to them when the global comments here, it's going to be one and only. Christ is king and the earth is flat. That's going to be my reply to every glober he directs over my channel. Christ is king, the earth is flat. That's going to be my reply. Okay. That's it. I don't need to argue. I don't need to defend the truth, because the truth is, it's self-evident. We live in a stationary earth and covered by a firmament. If you don't believe the Bible, it's a waste of time for me to try to convince people. Just like Jesus said when he was teaching about Lazarus and the beggar and the rich man. And the rich man said, please allow me to go back and speak to my brothers. And the Lord Jesus told them, well, they have the prophets, they have the Bible. If they don't believe the Bible, they will not believe, even if a dead person go back to talk to them. So if those people don't believe what the scripture says, I'm not going to waste my time debating. That's why I don't debate Globers, because they don't believe the Bible. So I got a message yesterday from Rick. Shout out to you, Rick Rinkley, great brother in Christ. And this whole thing is, that's why I said at the beginning, this whole thing is a spiritual warfare. Because what Will Duffy is trying to do, since we are having this fake alien agenda coming up, the fake alien invasion, he wants as many people, Christians, deceived by the globe as possible. Okay, he wants to keep those people wrapped around the globe, especially Christian. He is the guy, the Answer in Genesis team, and a few other pastors who they want Christians wrapped around the ball. They don't want them to escape the ball. The lie of the ball. So he's putting big numbers, big money, asking for suckers to fund the bill, because most of all, he's targeting Christians. He wants Christians not to break loose of the ball lie. But again, the Bible speaks, when many Christians, when they open the Bibles, they start looking at what the Bible says about the firmament, and we live on a stationary earth. They open their eyes. So he's trying really hard, but those who are the children of God will hear. That's what Jesus said in John chapter 8. Those who are from God will listen the word of God. So he is trying very hard, but those who are from God will listen to the Bible. We'll see that, we'll see through their lives. Let me highlight my brother's comment here real quick. Banjo's anti-3FA work is so mighty and strong and truthful that Satan and Duffy have to call upon the giant juggernaut of Hollywood to run damage control to counter Banjo's godly anti-flat content. Thanks so much for your comment, brother. It's hidden here, but I'm going to highlight and bring it back. Yeah, I have been pounding so hard on those liars. Every week, I'd always bring these liars up, call them out, that he's now having to hire a bigger, greater Hollywood producer to foot the bill to carry on his lies. So I'm going to go back to those comments here. Okay, let me finish this. Thanks so much, brothers. I will highlight all your comments. Let me finish with this Will Duffy video here. All right, Okay, I think that's all from the video. So you saw, let me highlight those comments now. I appreciate your words, brother Christian, because I have never forgotten. I will never forget the FE, the liars, all those shields, everything I will never forget, because I trusted those guys. When I saw what they were doing behind the scenes, I see, I immediately started to sound the alarm. You know, that's important because if you cover for them, you would be part of the whole scheme. You know, and David Wise, he tried really hard. You know, I still got his messages on Skype. He didn't want me to speak out. You know, he tried to keep this. You know, no, don't. He was protecting Jaron. So I appreciate all your words. You know, but yeah, he is going to include me in his mockumentary, which I don't care. You know, you know, it's he's gonna answer. You know, there is a great white throne coming. He's gonna answer to the Lord. Why is he preaching the lie of the globe? Okay, why is he pushing this globe? It's because of the fake alien agenda. It's all about this fake alien agenda. They cannot deceive people if they don't have the globe. So they need the globe. And I see now, you know, David Wise with his infinite pain, you know, aliens coming from there. You know, they are all preparing this, you know, the stage for their fake alien, you know, agenda stuff. All right, let me share more. Let me share a couple more videos here. Not videos, images. All right, so we saw that Duffy is really searching for suckers to fund his bill. And he has three, actually four layers of suckers. The executive producer sucker. If you donate $10,000, you get your name on the credits. But if you're not allowed, if you can't donate $10,000, you can be a co-producer sucker for $5,000. And again, you get your name on the credits. But if you don't have $5,000, if you want to give him $1,000, you will be an associate producer sucker, and you get your name on the credits. You know, and if you don't have any more money than $500, you still get your name on the credits. If you're gonna be a feature supporter sucker, $500, you get your name on the credits. So they are selling. He's selling, you know, the spot, your name on the credits. Again, he's trying to make it look like he's doing you a favor, when in fact, he is after your money. Okay, that's what he needs to hire this Hollywood producer to produce his mockumentary. So going back to that Bible verse, for the mystery of iniquity doeth a hard work, Proverbs 4:14, enter not into the path of the wicked, and go not in the way of evil men. Avoid it, pass not by it, turn from it, and pass away. For they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away, unless they cause some to fall. For they eat the bread of wickedness, and drink the wine of violence. Verse 19, the way of the wicked is as darkness. They know not at what they stumble. So you see these guys, you see what the Bible says, and you see these guys acting. You know, it's like, wow, the Bible really is a truthful book, because the way it has it, the way you see these people acting. And wickedness. These guys are wicked, and they are spreading the lie of the globe earth, and they are pushing it hard. They want to make a mockumentary propaganda. I don't know if you guys you have a different feeds, like your YouTube feeds and TikTok feeds, but mine here in Asia, my TikTok this week, even though you have the option, you're not interested, you go on the video, say you're not interested on this topic or the tag or whatever. I got so many items too, clips of the astronauts, like at the White House or praising the astronauts. So many. I mean, I could not uh, get rid of them fast enough, but they kept coming. It's just like if I had specifically searched for Christina Koch, because video after video after video after video promoting the Artemis 2 and those astronauts, especially the female one. Propaganda, a lot of propaganda, and that's how they want to push forward the agenda. They use the media and propaganda. And this is a small channel. When I was getting too many views on the compilations, Artemis 2 compilations, and I noticed like one video had 7,000 views, 3,000 views, and then went dropped to 400 views. So I was watching this guy on YouTube. He was explaining how YouTube, they move our channels to, there are three kinds of baskets, let's say, okay? And the third basket's the unwanted ones. And so they move our channels to that basket in order that our channels cannot be found or videos cannot be found. So I'm pretty sure, my videos only get seen by very few subscribers because I cannot find my own videos. When I log on with my backup accounts and I try to find my channel, I can't even find. I have to go to the playlist or to history. But they use of propaganda, they use of media and all that stuff. So I want to play the first song. Today is a really good show for TFE debunking. So let's play our first song here.
Just got back from Antarctica, spent 3 days in the snow to see the 24-hour sun with globe of friends I know. There's Duffy and McKeegan, there's Whitsitt and Mattoon, and all but one will claim to us man landed on the moon. On Sharon Campanella, the crypto king of truth, spent many years promoting flat earth back in my youth. But now I'm with the Globers, that's where the cash is at. So now I couldn't give a damn if Earth is round or flat. I'm the Glober's favorite fluffer since I got back from the pole. I've quit the show Globusters now that Duffy owns my soul. All I've left to sell you is a Netflix show hit piece. I've reached my flat earth crossroads, now my palms they have been greased. I've lots of things to sell you on the Jeranism site. A 15-minute consultation with me talking shite. Or dine with me in Austin and bring 12 of your best friends. Now I'm a happy Glober with the grift that never ends. I'm Jen Campanella. I'm the crypto king of truth. Spent too many years promoting left back in my youth. But now I'm with the Globers, that's where the cash is at. And now I couldn't give a damn if Earth is round or flat. I'm the Glober's favorite fluffer since I got back from the pole. I've quit the show Globusters now that Duffy owns my soul. All I've left to sell you is our Netflix show hit piece. I've reached my flat earth crossroads, now my palms they have been greased. Earth is round or flat. I'm the Glober's favorite fluffer since I got back from the pole. I've quit the show Globusters now that Duffy owns my soul. All I've left to sell you is our Netflix show hit piece. I've reached my flat earth crossroads, now my palms they have been greased. La 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 la. All I've left to sell you is our Netflix show hit piece.
Hi, great song by Mr. Cheswick. He put out some couple songs and then he deleted his channel. But it was a great song about the TFE fakery. And a couple comments here that I want to highlight. I forgot to highlight this one. So I feel like sending Duffy the 50,000K So the mockumentary gets released, which will only produce more flat earthers, just like Artemis did, most likely. And thank you very much. I can tell you how much I appreciate you and your knowledge. I appreciate the comments, brother. No globe, no alien agenda. That's exactly what it is. That's why these guys are pushing the globe so bad, because they cannot have their fake alien invasion without the globe. Can't. There's no way. Funny song, yes, Yuko. Very funny song by um, Mr. Cheswick. Don't know what happened to him. DJ New Moon is in the house. Thank you, Brad. All right, so I cannot show you. I don't have the video here of Christina Koch walking, so funny. But let's move on. There's a couple more slides that I want to show concerning this whole TFE thing. And so some people say, why are you mocking them? Well, Elijah in 1 Kings 18:27, and it came to pass at noon that Elijah mocked them and said, cry aloud, for he is a god. Either he is talking, or he is pursuing, or he is in a journey, or peradventure he is asleep and must be awakened. He's talking about when he challenged the prophets of Baal, the Baal, and to to burn the fire, to bring fire from the sky, and he was mocking them just like these guys. So this is a real experiment that this real Duffy should do to prove the Baal Earth. So this happened in Brazil. The coast of Brazil, on the flat earth map, if you look at the flat earth map, there are two regions there that it's like a giant bay. So you can see one building, and like 3,000 kilometers away, the other building. So if the earth was a globe, you would see those buildings leaning away, and you could measure the bases of the building and the top. Okay, there should be a difference in distance between the base of the building and the top, and there's not. That's what they did. Measure those two buildings. That's why when they are discussing flat Earth in Brazil, nobody cares about the sun, because most engineers, flat or globe, they have conducted experiments and tests, and they concluded there is no curvature. So when I watch any the discussions, even globers in Brazil, they don't use the sun much, because you can't tell the shape of the Earth by looking at the sky. You gotta measure the floor. As Jaron himself said, he had measured the floor, he found no curvature. That's why he came up with this whole Home Depot. Maybe the Earth is a ball, but it's flat on top. That's what he said. Okay, but there's no curvature. So in order to try to convince people that the Earth is a ball, they use CGI, fakery, AI, artificial intelligence, actors, central cast actors. They go to a place where no one else can go, and they claim to have seen something that people won't be able to see, and that's not repeatable. People in 2025, 2023, 2022 could not film any 24-hour sun. But easy things like this one, they won't do it. They won't do it because this would destroy their globe. So they came with this experiment. They tried to, if Earth was a globe, the top of the building should have a difference in distance between the top and the base of the building. And when they did it, the distance between the top and the bottom was the same, okay, 3,050 kilometers, just about 1,800 miles, I guess, I believe so, okay? And that's how you find out whether the Earth is curved or not, and it's not. That's how they found out that it's not curved. So why? There was an argument here, some comments, people defending David Wise. Well, because David Wise he has been from the get-go, back from 2015 with these guys, these flip-floppers, you know? Best friends with Jaron Campanella. This lady here, another shoe, another flip-flopper. Those are the flip-floppers. You see her doing the 666 symbol. Again, the flip-floppers. This guy is another flip-flopper, will be in the documentary. All of them, Central Casting, hired 2015 together, forever. Here you see them again, Janice Rose 777. See the other flip-flopper here, 2015. Now there is Mr. David Wise. He's been from the beginning with these people, embedded with them. This is another one. Okay, it's impossible for this guy not know that these people were shields. You have there's a movie called Meet the Fockers. Now you see here Meet the Floppers. These are some of them. Another great big friend of Jaron Campanella here, the IPS guy, always on the show with Mark Sargent and David Wise. So all these people working together since 2015, and all of them from the Central Casting Agency, same factory that brought all those fake. So, my job is this one. I mean, I'm just sharing you the truth that these guys are control opposition. They have been from the get-go. And, we can only depend on each other and on the Bible. That's what I've been telling you guys. Read your Bibles, get the best version as True Christian has been put out. Septuaginta for the Old Testament, the Tyndale's version for the New Testament. But if you don't have those, you can have the King James. But those keep, faithful with the Bible, read the Bible. That's where the truth is. And these guys pushing these lies, they're just trying to convince people of the globe earth, because without the globe, they cannot push their alien agenda. So one thing they cannot have is people believing the earth is flat. Yes, the Bible is truth. Okay. So we got a few more songs to play today. Got some, the mystery of we're going to play one more song here. Then we'll go back to the mystery of iniquity. Let me hide this comment. Okay.
Step up in this game like I'm hammering nails. Burst a flat plane, listen up, I'll tell you tales. Home Depot vibes on my tools, no fails. Level up my vision while the world just derails. Jaron said it first, now I'm chasing the truth. First wanna know, is he shilling or aloof? Now I'm flexing with the facts while they playing the fool. Flat earth, no curve, I'm breaking all the rules. Earth is like Home Depot, got my crew on deck. Home Depot, we ballin'. All this knowledge better show respect. Home Depot, flat earth, they saying no way, but we out here grind. Home Depot, motivated, determined, leave the lies behind. Rolling deep through Antarctica, you know what's up. Snowflakes in the air, yeah, we sipping from the cup. Well, Duffy said, trust me, I came out of the blue. Started from the hustle, now I'm building my crew. Wait, I'm stacking up truth like I'm lumber from the store. Got the blueprint, baby, I'm ready for war. See the horizon straight, no dip in my sight. Thug life on the flat, bringing knowledge to the fight. With this line, Home Depot, got my crew on deck. Home Depot, we ballin'. All this knowledge better show respect. Home Depot, flat earth, they saying no way, but we out here grind. Home Depot, motivated, determined, leave the lies behind. So I'm here to break walls, I'm kicking down doors, hash street life, I'm hustling what's mine is ours. A whole new vision, we gon' stack and we gon' rise. With my crew by my side, we defy all the lies. Earth is like Home Depot, got my crew on deck. Home Depot, we ballin'. All this knowledge better show respect. Home Depot, flat earth, they saying no way, but we out here grind. Home Depot, motivated, determined, leave the lies behind. So remember this hustle, keep your eyes on the prize. Earth is flat like a board, like the ones on a 5. We'll build this place together, ain't no mountain too high. Home Depot mindset, we gon' reach for the sky, yeah. So remember this hustle, keep your eyes on the prize. Earth is flat like a board, like the ones on our 5. We'll build this place together, ain't no mountain too high. Home Depot mindset, we gon' reach for the sky, yeah. Like a Home Depot.
Not really place those two guys apart from each other. You know, no matter how hard they try to pretend they are not friends anymore, they're enemies. No, behind the scenes, those guys were working together way before Flat Earth. You know, it was a team put together to infiltrate, and there's no way they are not friends anymore. Those two guys are as close as ever before, as close as ever. All right, so a few weeks ago, I mentioned about a video of a lady. She was speaking about against the PDF guys, how in her city, the council, you know, the representatives, the city represent, do nothing about it, against it or nothing, you know. And that's why when I first started speaking against TFE, one of the reasons was like, why were not those guys talking against it? You know, it was a bad idea from the start. And these guys were defending, as you saw, you know, Dave DeWise, I played the video several times, all of them, they were all supporting, embracing it. And that's why I wonder they were part, you know, they gotta be part of it, you know. So this is the video it's a very short video, this lady speaking in her city um, meeting hall. So listen to this lady.
I am wondering if you are all pedophiles because you don't seem to care that children are being sexually abused. So the only thing I could ascertain is that you guys probably enjoy child porn. I don't know, right? You're not looking. I mean, if somebody claimed that I was, I would say, I absolutely am not. I wouldn't let it stand as fact, but you guys love to let it stand as fact that that's what's going on because you're not willing to stop it. So, I mean, if you're willing to perpetuate it, what else could you be? You're going to shake your head, then do something about it. No, Monica, you're not a pedophile. Why aren't you doing anything about the child abuse that's happening in the county? Because you don't care. If you cared, you would want to stop it. If you cared if it happened to your child, you'd want to stop it. If it happened to you, you'd want to stop it. Jim, what if it happens to your grandchild? What if? Would it matter then? Probably, right? It's so horrible to think about. Right.
Next speaker, please.
I really like it, this lady, you know, because she's calling them out. And that's what I did at the beginning, you know. When I saw those guys were working with them and they were promoting, I started calling them out, you know, because I just saw that. I saw through them. I saw that they were not protecting, let's say, or fighting for Flat Earth. They were more likely, more interested in working with Duffy, you know, this whole thing. So it tells a lot, you know, the action of the person tells a lot of what she, you know, represents. And the action of all those guys, you know, and told me a lot about what they were up to. That's why I spoke out against them. And I wonder, you know, like, Will Duffy is a pastor, right? So a pastor is supposed to be taking care of the souls of the people, right? And, you know, denouncing, this lady is more courageous than you know, he is. He has money, he's got a voice, he has a pulpit. where are his sermons preaching against all those PDF files, you know? Why is he not putting his money in there instead of trying to silly prove that the Bible is wrong? You know, he's trying so hard to prove that the Bible is wrong, that the Bible is a fantasy book. That's what he's trying to do, because the globe really is, the whole globe is to go against the Bible. And if you go back to the writings, for example, John Calvin or Martin Luther against the heliocentric model, against Copernicus, they all said the same thing, that they are possessed by the devil. They were possessed by the devil. So, you know, this Will Duffy this pastor, it's really weird. It's a weird person, really weird person. Okay, spending all this time humiliating himself, begging for money, you know, and for what? You know, for trying to prove that the Bible is wrong. You know, he's going against the Bible. That's basically what he's doing. Why isn't he using his resources to, you know, highlight what this lady is doing? I bet, especially where he lives in Colorado, there are many reports there of such actions. Why doesn't he put his money into researching that stuff and bringing it to light instead of trying to prove that the Bible is wrong? So a lot of red flags in this whole situation. The people he's banding with, Jaron with his whole hating Jesus Christ, and you know, they all go really well together. You know, they all work fine together. All right, so I do want to talk about a bit about Little Season today, as I've been doing every week. But I want to play another video here talking about the mystery of iniquity. So this is a guy, he did a presentation years ago. This presentation is very old, probably from the 90s. Interesting presentation. He talks about the history according to the occult. So I'm gonna, please watch this short video here.
But I can draw one picture for you of specifically the 17th century, at the time of the Tudor dynasty. A big agenda, an important thing we need to know about concerning this matter took place. And it has to do with this character on the right, who's known as Sir John Dee. John Dee is the head of MI5. British Secret Service, comes from the Tudor dynasty of the 15th century. Well, John Dee was a great occultist, sacred geometrist, and court astrologer to Queen Elizabeth, and black magician. And John Dee was a Rosicrucian, which is a secret society of Freemasons operating in the world. John Dee contacted some beings that C.S. Lewis refers to as the macrobes. He says that under our level of perception, we have the microbes. A couple of hundred years ago, if you had to talk to anybody about microbes, microbial life, bacteria, they'd have laughed at you. They'd have thought you were insane and probably locked you up if you described that. Then we invented the telescope, and now it's common knowledge, right? A whole universe of life forms, right? Beneath our perception of vision. Well, C.S. Lewis says there is another level above us, on the next level up almost, which is the same. You can't have a physical instrument so much to deal with it. The instrument of noticing that and knowing that is the human intuition. When the information starts transmitting through his work, and his work was called Enochian magic, for those who happen to be into that, when he started translating into his Enochian, those quaint things you see in museums, all that information that was pouring down, it was too big for his consciousness and Edward Kelly and some other people that he worked with. So he had to get all his counterparts in Europe to get on the ball with this. So all these Illuminati families and black nobility, intelligence people, you know, they were all working simultaneously at the same time. But then obviously history would notice this, wouldn't it? That all of these families start getting into what looks like the occult. So they sold that back to us as a period in history when suddenly there was a renaissance of esoteric knowledge in the world and everybody was into it. The real story behind that is that these scholars were all working independently on this vast amount of knowledge that was pouring in day and night through the consciousness of the psychics of the world. And then later it was realized that having each of these intellectual geniuses working in their own little garrets up in the Bavarian hills is not good enough. We're going to have to, this knowledge is getting so much now, you have to bring it together into places where the scholars can come. We call those places universities, universe cities. So is it not from the 14th and 15th century that we have the rise of the British Empire? This tiny little country that stretches its tentacles out to the rest of the world? Isn't it from that time that we have the universities of the world rising? Isn't it from that time we have the stock exchange rising? Isn't it that time we have the Industrial Revolution's beginnings? The agricultural revolution, right? Think of just how many things that we now take for granted that came out of that particular time. Something happened in that time of England that we now inherit, which we have as modern times. So the British Empire arose and they sent out the pirates. They sent out their emissaries from the Hudson Bay Company and the East India Company to the four corners of the world to enslave the world, to get the mineral resources, to get the slavery, to get the gold, you see, to bring it back for one agenda orchestrated by just a very few people. Now, the macrobes, they don't do nothing for free. So John Dee goes, well, what do you want in return for your knowledge? And they said, we want blood. Blood is energy. And if you study the occult, you'll realize that blood is a form of energy. So John Dee goes, oh, how much do you want and when do you want it? No worries. Oh yeah, tell when and where. So the macrobe said, well, we want sacrifices. Ladies and gentlemen, is it not also since that time of the 16th century that the wars, not battles between two maniac kings with a couple of hundred knights, but I'm talking about the wars, begin?
All right, 15th, 16th century. That's what I've been talking about after the 1,000 years, Millennium Kingdom, all those things started to happen. And you see, that's why I'm saying to you guys that everything is a spiritual warfare. Everything. Everything we see, all the propaganda on TV, all this global, all this jab, everything is a spiritual warfare. Everything. The lies of David Wise and Jaron Campanella, Will Duffy, the lies that we see, all this central casting, Artemis 2, all those lies, it's all spiritual warfare. Everything is a spiritual warfare. Everything is to spread lies as much as possible. Live in a fake world. We have fake food, we got fake medicine, we got fake drinks, fake water nowadays. Everything is fake. I was watching something yesterday. I didn't want to believe, okay? Because I thought we live in Japan, fish here, they go out fishing. But much of the fish nowadays are compromised. Years ago, they started like injecting a lot of fish with chemicals and changing DNA and releasing into the wild again so they could multiply. And everything is a lie. Everything is spiritual warfare. Everything is to God's creation. When God in the Bible says that we should not mix seeds or mix animals or mix any of those stuff, and they do everything that even the clothes that when we mix, the linen, the cotton or whatever, polyester, everything is corrupted. Everything is spiritual warfare. Everything. There's no escape from that. The universities, you saw all those. I found this interesting because the wars multiplied back then, 16th century, and John Dee, the head of MI5, that the most secret service, like all the intelligent people, all the resources and money, is a magician. Nothing but a magician, occultist. And what NASA does today, NASA is a magic, I used to watch like David Copperfield. Wow, how can he go across the Great Wall of China and shows up on the other side? How can David Blaine fly? They're all magic tricks. Some of them takes years for us to figure out how they did. But NASA's tricks, it will never be revealed to us. What they do now, they have way years ahead in CGI and artificial intelligence, and they have way decades ahead. Okay, so they will never reveal to us the way they do all those magic tricks. But everything is a spiritual warfare. Everything is deception and lies. And they use their resources for this. It's lies upon lies and lies upon lies. So we do live in a wicked world where wicked people like those guys keep doing wicked things. That's what they do. So yes, you gotta live with these lies. Sometimes, some people figure this out. Sometimes like scientists, and because they are comfortable in their zone, they never speak out. They are making money. They got, they have their cars, their houses. They will not speak out against. This short video, please pay attention to this, because this guy figured out that his whole life is a lie. 30-something years in astronomy, he figured out his whole life is a lie. Will he change his position and start speaking out against the globe? No, I don't think so. So pay attention to this one.
Dark matter. It's the most mysterious substance in the universe. Little is known about it. Scientists are pretty sure it exists, but still don't know what it is. Now they have created the largest ever distribution map of dark matter in the universe, as our science correspondent Palab Ghosh reports.
Look up at the skies and you see stars. But this telescope in the deserts of Chile is able to see the universe as it really is, filled with a mysterious substance called dark matter. It can't be seen, but this instrument can detect dark matter by the way it distorts starlight.
This is a map of matter in the universe.
And that's allowed astronomers to produce this map of how it's spread across the expanse of space.
It's an element of, unveiling mystery, something you couldn't see before, and suddenly it's there, and you think, wow.
So what is dark matter, and where is it in space? Dark matter permeates space, with galaxies like tiny gems on a tangled cosmic web. The bright areas are where dark matter is most concentrated, and it's here that galaxies form. But the map is not what astronomers expected. The matter should be slightly more clumped together. Instead, it's smoother than predicted by Einstein's theory of general relativity, which helps determine how the matter should have spread out after the Big Bang.
If the structures in this map are smoother than we expect them to be, which is what the results seem to hint at, it means that Einstein's theory is wrong.
Building on the work of Einstein, Carlos Frenk was among a group of scientists that developed the current model of cosmology.
Hearing now that there may be something not quite right with the theory, well, it's very disconcerting, it's very alarming, and in a way frightening to see that maybe my whole life's work might crumble in front of me.
Astronomers believe that we are at the start of a new revolution in cosmology that will give us a fuller understanding of how the universe began and how it will evolve. Palab Ghosh, BBC News.
So this guy realized that his whole life is in a lie, years. And he sees that there's no vacuum in space, there is a substance there. And he realized now, after 30-something years, building his whole career upon a false teaching, of called the Einstein's theory of relativity. His whole life is a lie. Will he now say, well, Einstein was wrong? No, I don't think so. But by the comments here, you see we are in the age of deception. Yes, we are. Those microbes, which I had never heard before. And then C.S. Lewis has it in one of his books. He talks about these microbes. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of things about C.S. Lewis as well, because I think he got involved with the cult, probably Freemasonry. and it just goes from there. But sometimes they gotta review some of their, findings or truths, so there will be no excuse. So everything is a deception, as we've been saying, spiritual warfare, and that's what we see. I could not. I wish I could have gone on playing that video of the guy, but because of copyrights, and I cannot risk any copyright strike or anything. But it shows the Queen of England. They sacrificed actually 6,000 British soldiers, to please those microbes. What they did after the Armada tried to invade Spain, and then there was a hurricane of some sort that was what the microbes did, or those spiritual beings did to England. That's why, England today is not really a Christian country, it's really a witchcraft country. And I'm sorry to say I have many friends from England here or online, but that's what it is, It's a country really pretty heavy on witchcraft. Why? Because it's the payback, they invoked the microbes to help them against the Armada, Spanish Armada. And if you guys don't know, I learned that in college when I was in college in the U.S. about the Spanish Armada. But there were 3 of them, not just one. The King of Spain tried 2 more times, and all the 3 times the same thing happened. There was a hurricane, and all of the Armada was destroyed even before they arrived in England. As a payback, the Queen of England, she sent 6,000 British soldiers to an island, isolated island in the northwest, and they were ordered to stay there just in case the Spanish Armada would attempt a 4th time, and they were left there to die. They died, all of them, by hunger. Nobody rescued them. It was a sacrifice to those microbes that helped them. So everything is a spiritual warfare. Everything is spiritual warfare. So Duffy's action, when you see him speaking, that's the spiritual warfare. Jerry Campanella, when you see him speaking, spiritual warfare. Just remember that stuff. It's all spiritual warfare. It's all against the Creator and His Son, Christ the King. Everything, everything is spiritual warfare. So I do want to talk more about, at least a little bit about the legislature, but you see, everything started in the 1600s, 1600s, the age of enlightenment, and a bunch of Harry Potters. And I'm sorry, I have friends. I wanted to send my daughter to England at some time when we were able to, but I'm scared because England is a really country that exports a lot of witchcraft. A lot of witchcraft comes from England. Much I do to talk more about things. I do have a song. I'm really well. Let me shout out to my friend Jerry Miller. His son made like those indie styles movies where he ordered one of the flat Earth maps and he displays on the movie. So I want to play the trailer here, and you can find that on Amazon Prime. Okay, I'll show you in just a second. Let's watch this trailer.
My father worked on MK Ultra back in the 50s.
Mom, I don't trust this man.
I learned everything I know from my father about the human mind, how to operate on it, deconstruct it, and control it. I dreamed about her last night.
If the hairs on the back of my neck stand up, I will break it off.
used to think he was talking about our own minds, but I quickly came to realize that was not the case. This here is binaural.
Oh, you wouldn't be the first man who said that to me before. I just want us to be safe.
I can find her, Ludwig. That's not the issue.
What is there we can do at this point?
How was that one patient you were telling me about? The one with the sleep disorder?
Oh, he's much better. I have him on a new medication that's working like a charm.
All right, that's the trailer. Mind and Distortion. You find the movie in Amazon Prime. I did watch about MK Ultra. Excellent, interesting movie. You know how they played with the minds of people, making them do things that they don't know they were doing or not. And I was watching. Shout out again to Rick Hinckley. He sent me a video. Bill Cooper interviewing John Lear from, I think his family from the Lear Jets, something like that. He was a pilot, and they were talking about this whole fake alien agenda, the technology. They say, well, you know, they claim to be from other places, but perhaps it's military, you know, just secret technology, man-made. And at certain point, they were talking. John Lear was talking about some of the NASA people that he met, scientists, people that they could not remember what they did during the daytime, like they met at night, and they would not recall what they spent the day working on. And they believe John Lear was saying that he believes those people were under the effect of MK Ultra because they could not remember. And when I see some of those astronauts, you know, some of them might have been under the effect of MK Ultra. And they're speaking, giving interviews. Not all of them. Some of them are actors. They know what they're doing. But very interesting video. Let me see if I find here, and I can share with you guys. Just watch this video. I watched it last night. Well, I don't have here. Oh, yeah. So I'm going to show you, if you're interested, I can place the link here. Shout out to Rick for sharing this with me, and I watch it. Well, mostly here, you don't need to watch because it's radio interview. They did it back in 1993. Bill Cooper interviews John Lear in 1993, Mind Control, Deception, and UFOs. So this movie, MK Ultra, Mind and Distortion, goes right along with what we are talking about right now. So John Lear believed that some of the NASA people he was in touch with, perhaps were victims of MK Ultra, because the guys could not remember what they were working on. So while you're here, if you want to support the channel, you can always become a patron. I would like to get at least 20 Patreon, but it's very hard. I have just over a dozen, 14 patrons right now. If you feel like supporting the channel, it would be great. It's not required to. Being here for 10 years, everything in my channel, you can download, you can use. It's all free. Duffy will probably use some of my footage on his documentary. You know, I don't care. But you can use anything you want. Great movies, great videos here. Let me show you one that you should see. It's about this one here. Why do Globe Believers, this is a compilation I put out last week. Why do Globe Believers get so mad if we talk about NASA? So you can talk about Epstein, all the files. They won't say anything. Globers like you Duffy won't say a thing, you know, but talk about NASA, talk about the globe, they come fuming against you. So if you want to support the channel, you can visit one of these links. If you want, feel like it, become a Patreon. I know the situation is really bad right now. 27,000 people just got laid off because Spirit Airline went out of business. So I totally understand. We've been struggling here also for a couple of years. Japan is a shrinking economy, and it's been shrinking every month. Shrinks more and more. More stores closing. More people struggling. Some of my students, their parents are working 4 days a week, no longer working 5 days. So it's difficult for everyone, and I understand. If you want to have a, just like James Miller had a map. You can see the trailer. He had a map on his office. You can place a map or give one as a present to somebody. It's a way to support the channel. I don't make much of it. Sometimes Rick transferred like $60 or $50 or because we only make sell maybe 5 or 6 maps a month. It's not a lot, but anything helps if you want to support the channel, right? So that's it for now as far as promoting this. Let's go back to the chat. Sorry, I haven't kept up much with the chat today. Hope everything is okay here. I got a reading. This is pretty good for you to use to look at the atmospheric magnification. Okay, this shows like the sun doesn't set. It really, it's very good for those experiments. So I can see here the comments better. The same thing goes, yeah, exactly. Talking about NASA drives people crazy. Bringing up Jesus Christ drives people crazy, especially the name of Jesus. Name of Jesus is really like, last week we talked about David Wilcock, which I think he was sometimes victim of a MK Ultra as well, because of I saw him breaking down. Same thing as that scientist, like, oh, my whole life is a lie, I saw him breaking down. Shout out to Blue Star. Sol is here. Thank you so much. That's very interesting. That was also the conclusion of the X-Files TV series. They revealed it was aliens. It was government meddling the whole time. Yes, just like this. If you want the link, but I just show you the show. It's Bill Cooper, John Lear, and Bill Cooper interview. I can, place your comments, and I'll go back and I will answer each and every one comment. So I'm gonna play one more song since we haven't had time to talk much about the little season. I'm gonna play this beautiful song. Okay, the Missing J. This one.
I sat in the pew last Sunday. The preacher was sweating, shouting about a tribulation coming our way, waiting for the temple to fall, waiting for the end. I just looked down at my Bible, Matthew 24. Jesus looked right at his disciples and said, "This generation shall not pass till all these things be fulfilled." He wasn't talking to us, he was talking to them. Year 70 AD, the stones came down, the fire fell, the judgment came. They kept us waiting for a train that already left the station. The preacher man sweats in his tailored suit, selling us fear from a bitter root, saying wait for the rapture, wait for the beast, while the serpent is dining right here at the feast. They read the good book, but they twisted the time. They buried the kingdom and covered the crime. The tribulation happened, the temple is dust, but they keep us in cages of future mistrust. Oh, the 1,000 years of peace have come and gone. We ain't waiting in the dark for the rising dawn. Read Revelation 20, it spells out the trees and the devil's out the pit for his little season. We ain't waiting on a savior to conquer the night. The king is on the throne and the victory is tied. Yeah, they stole the timeline to keep us afraid, but the remnant is walking right off of their stage. I walked down the street to the old courthouse square, looked at the granite that shouldn't be there, a building too grand for the horse and the cart, a relic of ether, a masterpiece of art. I brushed off the dirt from the cornerstone grave and looked at the letters where the old history lay. It said J760 and 4, not a 1 but a J for the king of the sword. They added 1,000 fake years to the line to blindfold the people and fracture the time. They called it the Dark Age, a primitive past, to hide that the kingdom was built here to last. Oh, the 1,000 years of peace have come and gone. We ain't waiting in the dark for the rising dawn. Read Revelation 20, it spells out the trees and the devil's out the pit for his little season. We ain't waiting on a savior to conquer the night. The king is on the throne and the victory is tied. Yeah, they stole the timeline to keep us afraid, but the remnant is walking right off of their stage. The 1,000 years are expired. Satan is loosed from his prison. He's deceiving the nations, but he can't touch the crown. Check the cornerstone.
All right, I'm so happy. A lot of people like this song. It's very, very pretty. Yuko, you sent me the first time, and here's the song right here. Been playing. So, what's the name of the song? Tell you right now. Let me go to my channel because there's a playlist there where you can find all the songs I play here. Just go to my channel playlist, and you go to Flat Earth Music. I'm going to show you right now. Let me share my screen. Go to my channel, go playlist. You see here Flat Earth Music. All right, Flat Earth Music that populate here. You see here. Okay, you see the ones I played today. The Glober's favorite Flurf, Jaron Campanella, and a whole bunch. But this one I have just added, so it's on the bottom. It's called, where is it? It's not here, but I'm gonna, the Missing J, this one here. Okay, it's this song right here, the Missing J. It's right here. Okay, that's the song. That is the channel there, Songs of Truth. Shout out to them. Now I do want to play this song here, Whispered in the Dark. I don't know if it's based on that Lego and Lego stuff. Some people, but maybe next week. I don't have time today. All right, so it's called The Missing J. All right, this song I just played right now. And yeah, beautiful song. Shout out to the creator. I haven't spoken to them, but all right, so guys, I was taking some time here. It was time went by so fast today. We've been on for 1 hour, 34 minutes, and I wish I could go on for more, but I don't want to make the show too long anyway. You know, it makes it hard for people to watch later. Welcome to the show. Thanks for being here. Please go back because I played a lot of good songs today, so you can go back and watch the beginning. Ramon, a lot of good people that I haven't shout out. Crystal is in the house, you know, So many good people. So welcome to the show. We are just about to end the show, actually. So I want to just play this image one more time. Really important, guy, because everything is a spiritual warfare. Everything. Bill Duffy, TFE, spiritual warfare. NASA, Apollo missions, Artemis missions, spiritual warfare. They give name of gods, fallen angels. Okay, little children being kept, in places in underground tunnels, spiritual warfare. Blood sacrifice, spiritual warfare. Everything is spiritual warfare. The news, the fake news, the fake media propaganda, spiritual warfare. Alex Jones, big time control opposition, spiritual warfare. David Hayes, control opposition, spiritual warfare. Jaron Campanella, he is hating Jesus, spiritual warfare. Everything is spiritual warfare. Fight the flat earth, MacDoom, spiritual warfare. Everything is spiritual warfare. So stick with your Bible, stick what the Bible says. Earth is flat with the firmament. There's no motion. All right. And that's going to be all for today, guys. I really appreciate you guys for being here. I'm sorry I took it a bit longer today. And remember, if the show ends in anything 33, you edit out any extra words, anything. We cannot allow the devil give them any space. Actually, I'm going to go on for another 2-3 minutes to make sure it won't end at 1:43:33 or something like that. But if it does, I will edit out any extra minute or extra second. We should give no room for the devil, anything for them to say it, right? But I appreciate all of you for being here. And, I'm trying to fight the good fight, I always fight the good fight. And the enemy is bigger, I mean, of course, we got Jesus Christ the King on our side, but we are in enemy's territory. Right now, the devil has taken over. We are in Satan's little season. He's deceiving the nations. And little one by one, people by people, community by community, he goes on deceiving people until he deceives the whole nations. Remember back when there used to be kingdoms, smaller and small kingdoms? The devil went over deceiving king by king until he took over a whole land, a country, and then from country to country. And countries became the European Union, the North America Union, South America Union. We have that. It's called Mercosur. The countries got together. Got the Asian Federation here. I mean, that's how the devil operates. He starts slowly, one by one, conquering space, conquering territory. And we are in the devil's territory right now. At any moment, we depend on their energy, on their Wi-Fi, on everything to spread the message. And they can cut the ties, the wires anytime they want. So thank you so much. Thank you, Yuko, for being here. I think it's safe now to end the show. I don't really want to end the show in any. I think it's safe now. So I'll see you guys next week if the Lord so allows me to. I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for being here. I love you guys in Jesus Christ. Christ is King, and that's my message. If you will, Duffy wants to include me in his documentary, please, Will Duffy, clip this and put in your documentary. Christ is King, Jesus Christ is King, and the earth is flat. Good evening, guys. Good night. Good morning to all of you. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Wonderful, magical, celestial light, fantastical, mystical, wonderful sight. Belgian Swiss physicist Auguste Piccard, 1931. first to reach for the stars, was the first to explore the air, view stratospherious, a scientist curious to see what was there. An aluminium black ball on a helium balloon, with photos and instruments, sailed towards the moon, rose in just half an hour, 52,000 feet, 10 miles of depth air pressure, up a dead drop in heat and cold, but disproving gravity. Wonderful, mystical, beautiful sight, flat line separation of black from blue light, a world run by deceivers, false make-believers, hiding in shadows, stealing our light. Mystical, fluorescent light, wonderful, magical, awesome, yes, stealing our light. Wonderful, heavy light, supernatural, eternal, up we go, higher than rainbows, higher than mountains, above cumulus nimbus, higher than air, high level horizon, 360 around us, but right round behind us, any hand that you dare. The sun and the moon both revolve above around us, to forever short time pass intelligently there. You'll never beat us, you'll never defeat us, no more you deceive us, we keep you like air. Kipper and Picard were the first ever known to reach up there. Divine luminescent light, mystical, wonderful, celestial light. So what was their eternal testimony? What did they report back to humanity? Said it seemed like a flat disk far as eyes can see, with an upturned edge fading into infinity. A mystical, ethereal, celestial sight, a divine creation, a clockwork of light, designed hid by deceivers and false make-believers, still cowering in shadows, still fearing our light. Here we go, higher than Everest, higher than airplanes, above zero cumulus, higher than air, high level horizon, 360 around us, no motion beneath us, no spinning, no fair. Stars on the firmament, time all around us, to forever short time past geometrically there. You'll never beat us, you'll never defeat us, forever beneath us, we see through you like air. Mystics on a luminous light, fantastical, magical, bright, we see through you like air. Magical, angels of light, beautiful, wonderful, celestial light. The first to see truth when they reach for the stars, explorers and physicists, Kipper and Picard. Never you'll defeat us, forever beneath us, we see through you like air.